What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Rundown Review, where two guys sit around, drink some beer, and talk about what we watched this week. And on a very special episode this week, we're going to be talking about The Tiger King. As always, I'm joined by the man of the hour, Mr. Jeff.
Hello. It's me.
You're not on.
Hello. It is me.
What the fuck did you turn your mic off?
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Because there's a cut break, so I can't.
There is a cut break.
Oh. You guys are in for a special episode today. This is I've not been this excited about making an episode in a long time.
Well, sir, this is your series, so I'm gonna let you take it off.
I don't know about that because there's only one thing on my mind right now, and it's big cats.
Yeah, well, that's just like your opinion, man.
Anyway, so like Michael said, this is the series where we talk about the things that we've watched this week, and he's been a little bit more busy on the watching side than I have. I've been kind of stuck on two things. And
You know what? Me first, damn it, okay? Because
Yes,
I don't want to
please.
do this shit to begin with. But I love Jeff, so I'm going to do it anyways.
You had me at hello.
Aw.
So as you know, if you've seen the show before, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about what we watched this week and some things that we liked, and then we'll get into what the episode's actually about. So I watched a couple of movies this week. First one that I watched was Ford versus Ferrari.
Oh yeah, is that good?
That hands down probably my movie of the year.
Really?
I very rarely. There are very few movies in this world that I will watch more than once.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just because I love video games and I play video games and I watch a movie and I don't get that same thrill factor out of watching a movie the second time that I do playing a game a second time.
Mm-hmm.
But no, Ford versus Ferrari, Matt Damon, Christian Bale, based on Carroll Shelby and Ken Miles in the 24-hour race for Le Mans. I got to make sure I pronounce that right or my wife will bitch me out because I accidentally called it Le Mans the other night.
That's the class that you take for
Yes.
breathing, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Duh.
But no, hands down, my movie of the year. I rented it twice. I loved it. I watched it. I made Michelle go and watch it. I loved it.
Rented it twice.
Fantastic movie.
Okay.
So essentially what happens is Ford's getting tired of getting beat by Ferrari every year at the 24-hour Le Mans. So Ford gets with Carroll Shelby to design a car in order to beat Ferrari, in which they do for the next 4 to 5 years, I believe, or whatever. But it's just hands down. I love the way it looked. I love the whole story. I got attached to the characters. Matt Damon at 49 years old. Holy crap. Good Will Hunting. Like, it's ridiculous. Christian Bale, of course. Vice, Batman, American Psycho.
That's my all-time favorite Christian Bale movie right there.
American Psycho.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just him in general. Amazing actor. I cannot talk enough about this movie, and if you want to sit down and watch it, I will be more than happy to sit down and watch it a third time and just tell you like little fun facts. It was one of those movies where, especially when movies are based on a true story, I like to go behind and watch, especially things like Watch Mojo, where they talk about things, the 10 things that were true and the 10 things that weren't, to kind of,
Screen Rant does that a lot too. They'll like I was watching one today about Tiger King, and they'll find information that wasn't necessarily represented correctly.
So you know that those songs weren't his.
We'll
Fucking
get- we'll-
Milli Vanilli bullshit. But yes, Screen Rant does it.
We'll get there. They do. They both of those YouTube channels do very, very good jobs on stuff like that. Yeah.
So I highly, highly recommend it. I thought that was an amazing movie. And then the second movie that I watched was Midday. Of course, Midday is the attack during World War II.
You talking about Midway?
Did I say Midday?
Yes.
Midway.
Midway,
Yes.
yes.
Sorry.
You dumbass!
Island of Midway. course, is the attack after Pearl Harbor by the Japanese back during World War II. That movie was... I don't know what to think of that movie. There's a lot wrong with that movie. Like, the acting was super cool. Like, the scenery and the explosions and, like, the action scenes, you know, the airplane flying, like, that was super cool. But there was a lot wrong with that movie from my perspective. Like, there was a bunch of times where, like, they drop a torpedo out of the plane or they launch a missile, and it's shown like 5 or 6 times in the movie where it just misses the Japanese. It just made no sense to me. Why are you showing me that it's going to miss them? I don't know. It's like 5 or 6 times. It's stupid. My favorite part of that movie, not going to lie, Nick Jonas dies. I thought it was pretty great. Not really big Nick Jonas.
I was going to watch that.
I'm not a big Nick Jonas fan. Well, he dies. Sorry. But no, I mean, it was weird. Oh, the other thing, I'm going to go ahead and let you know this now. Spoiler alert.
I'm not going to watch.
There are no subtitles for the Japanese.
Oh, so you just kind of have to assume what they're saying.
So when they're talking, they're just talking. You don't get subtitles. And to find out, the director said that this movie, and I quote, is dedicated to the Japanese.
Okay.
Still doesn't make any fucking sense why the fuck I don't get any subtitles during them talking.
Yeah.
So I'm literally sitting there making shit up as shit's going on the screen just to make myself feel better about this 2.5-hour movie.
You know what I just thought about?
What?
And it's completely off topic. But with as much as you and I cuss, if we ever get monetized...
I know. I can't say penis or vagina.
But you can say cock and pussy. No, I'm just kidding.
No, can't say that either.
PP and vajiji.
We're going to have to come up with code words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just... We'll figure it. Sorry, that's a little off topic.
But no, there was one scene where like the whole like carrier gets bombed, and like he's sitting there in like a breaker box or something like that, and he's sitting there screaming in Japanese, and I'm sitting there drinking and screaming back at the TV, like imagining what he's saying, you know, while he's at this breaker box with a bunch of fire going around him. Oh, I can't find the switch to the AC. It's super hot in here, and I don't fucking know. I was trying so hard to.
Is Nick Jonas Canadian in this movie?
I don't know.
Oh, you were like, oh yeah, I'm trying to find the old wire here, eh?
I was trying to imitate Japanese people.
Oh, that was very Canadian.
Point being,
I stopped by to Tim Hortons to get a coffee,
decent.
before we went up in the airplane, and then we were gonna go bomb the Americans. What?
Oh, I hope John watches this. Because John's Wisconsin, and that's exactly what he sounds like.
Oh, does it really?
Yes.
I've only played with him like one time, I think, on Division.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, John.
So the movie was decent, but again, Ford versus Ferrari. Please, if you have a chance to, check that out. Please do it. I think the only other thing that I can really say that I was probably watching is probably the most cringiest reality show that I have ever seen in my life.
Love is Blind.
Love is Blind.
I already knew you were gonna say
that. Is so cringy.
That's the one where they like they date for like X amount of time without seeing each other, right?
They don't even date.
Or
they go into portals, and you talk through like an intercom service with each other, and you get to know this person without ever looking at them, and you just wander in whoever's portal that you want to. My favorite part, hold on, I gotta tell you this, because I really think if you ever get your own show, that this is how you need to introduce yourself. But at the beginning of Love is Blind, Nick Lachey and his wife, I don't know what his wife's name is.
Jessica Simpson?
No.
They're
They
not
ain't been
married?
together. They ain't been married in 10, 15 years.
Oh.
He's with like Vanessa,
Oh yeah, she
the TRL girl.
Oh fuck, that's right. The older you get,
The less you care.
and the less your memory stays intact.
So find out what her name is, or I think her name's like Vanessa Lachey, I think.
Well, obviously, but no, it's I know who it is now because I'm dumb. It's Vanessa Manillo.
All right, so Vanessa Manillo is what it was. So she, they get on the show and they're like, "Hey, welcome to Love is Blind. My name is Vanessa Lachey." Or no, Nick Lachey's talking. Excuse me. So let me backtrack. Hi, welcome to Love is Blind. This is my wife, Vanessa Lachey, and of course, I'm Nick Lachey.
He says, and of course.
Or it may not have been of course, but he's like, and of course you know who I am. I'm Nick Lachey.
I'm Vanessa Lachey.
I'm obviously Nick Lachey.
Like, you were relevant for like 2 years. You know what's
98 disease.
98 disease. But you know what's funny? I was just looking at this and like he was only married to Jessica Simpson for like 4 years, but for whatever reason I remember that marriage more than I remember in the
Is it the chicken and the tuna that you remember?
I remember the reality show, yeah.
Okay. I love the reality show. It's fucking great.
But he's been married to Vanessa for like almost 10 years.
But yeah, so from
that's
now on,
that's fucking how irrelevant Nick Lachey is, by the way.
when you get on the podcast, can you go, hey, yeah, this is Michael by my side, and of course,
you know
who I am. I'm Jeff.
I was in a boy band.
But at the end of the day, that show is just so freaking cringy. I guess because I haven't had to date in, God, almost 10 years. That
Yeah.
I don't. It's cringy to me watching other people like flirt and try to date, I guess.
Well, is it because you probably done the same thing, like?
But it's just like, oh, people actually act like that, and it's so cringy. And just stop. I mean, but I don't know. It's what we go for. It's so weird.
Dude, memes are real. Like,
I know. Did you not see John spam my timeline because I told him to keep that trash off my Facebook? So Michelle tagged me in Tiger King meme, and I was making a joke, of course, and because Michelle loves it, she thinks it's the greatest show ever written.
she's not wrong.
And I made a comment on it. I was like, please keep this trash off my timeline. John sees it. So what does John do? John goes and finds every single Tiger King meme that he can and just starts spamming my timeline.
Nice.
Not nice. Fuck you, John.
Dude, you got to finish it off, though, because, like, it gets... You said, John, you finished episode 4, right?
I've finished episode 4 or 5.
Okay.
It's spoiler free. I don't want to, for anybody that hasn't finished it yet. But of course,
if you haven't, what's wrong with you?
Yeah. So that's the last episode I watched. I'm gonna go home. Keep a lookout Thursday. I will upload the rest of it if you want to see the review. But so far, yes, that is what I'm watching or what I have watched. Are you ready?
Oh, I want to discuss one show that I've been watching that we haven't actually talked about.
What you got for me?
Believe it or not, it was this guy at work that was like, dude, you have to watch this. You have to watch this. You have to watch this. And before this guy, he works with me, but he's also a pastor on the side, right?
Okay. I feel like it's a very key relevant to the story.
It is very key because the show that he got me into watching is Paradise PD.
I don't know what that is.
If you haven't seen Paradise PD, imagine Family Guy mixed with Big Mouth, but way more vulgar.
How do you get more vulgar than Big Mouth?
Oh, there's ways. There's this old dude like.
How's your hormones feeling? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, this one's like. No, this one is so much
I do
worse.
that to my wife in bed. She hates it.
Oh yeah, we get the tickle finger.
No, I literally do, and she cannot stand it.
That's awesome.
Come here, tell me how you really feel.
Now, you're a hormone monster. You need to work on.
I'm trying. Okay.
Are you making your own?
What hormone? I have my own hormone monsters to deal with.
Survey says 2 dicks down. Sorry for the mixed metaphor.
Her name's Vanessa.
Manila.
Manilo.
Sorry.
Manilo. Oh, I don't know. But no, the show is like super graphic and like there's like this old like 90-something-year-old cop who's like gay, I think.
Right.
And then there's like a talking dog who's addicted to drugs, kind of like Brian on Family Guy. And then there's like this really fat dude named Dusty, and then there's like this hot blonde that's like trying to bang him for whatever reason. And he's like, dude, I don't know. If you haven't watched this shit, it's the most incredibly insane thing ever. As far as, cartoons go. Watch, like there's, Okay, sorry. I'll get through this.
I'm sorry. I'm stuck on Animal King right now because you have that dude's face on your iPad. And
I know.
It's really creeping me out.
Did you see the tiger? And the tiger saw you? But there's this one scene where this episode where the kid of the show, well, not the kid, he's like 18, 19, 20-year-old. He meets this girl. They go on a date. A lot of bad shit happens to her. And then he's like, she jumps out of the car to get away from the date while he's going on the highway. He's like, I should rush home to call her. And then he says, hobo cop, turn on the siren. And it's like this homeless dude in a cop uniform. And he has a Kleenex box as a shoe. But the guy's cop car is like his own car that he's like decked out with like cardboard police signs on it. Mm-hmm. And when he says that, hobo cop just picks up a cat, shoves his thumb up his ass and puts it out the sunroof. It's all, wow, 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 wow.
It's really bad.
It's so bad, dude. But
and a priest turned you on to this show?
Yeah.
I feel like that's one of those, like, a priest walks into a bar joke.
Yes, but it's more like a priest works at a dealership and gets really bored and tells me about all these shows. But I highly recommend this if you are into, like, Big Mouth or F is for Family or Family Guy, stuff like that. Just anything super crude. It's like all those hodgepodge together and then injected with super soldier serum. So I think you guys will enjoy it.
There we go. I think we will too. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's do this. Escalators.
Roll the footage.
It's showtime.
It's showtime.
It's showtime. It's showtime.
All right, so we're going to do this a couple of episodes at a time, kind of go over it, kind of what our thoughts are. But before we go over the episodes and all, I pretty much already know what to expect, but I'm going to ask anyways. Can you just go ahead and give me your overall thoughts of the show? Because you finished the show, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what is just your overall feeling, thoughts about the show?
Dude, this shit's insane. Like, this fucking guy. Oh, my God. It's so crazy. Michael's like, he's not feeling it.
You'll hear my thoughts. Don't worry.
But you got to finish it out, man. All right, so this guy who owns a big cat zoo out in Oklahoma, who's like a self-proclaimed mullet-wearing gay cowboy that has guns and blows shit up, and is in a throuple. Yep. At one point, that's in the first episode, but we'll get to that point. Then he's got like all these other big cat enthusiasts that are against him, and one, I'm 110% sure she killed her husband. One owns a sex cult, and then the other was like the basis of Tony Montana from Scarface. So like this show is just.
I like the points that you're covering because you're pretty much correct.
Yeah, it's insane, and like I don't know, this guy looks like a tackle box blew up in his face. Like I'm into body modification. Like I have a ton of tattoos and I've had piercings, but this
the way that sounds. I'm into body modification.
Body modifications.
Sounds like something Joe Exotic would say.
I seen the body modification show. I went and got my my ears and my eyebrows pierced. Anyway, so like this dude. Oh God. I think we need to take this step by step because there's just so much thrown at you.
We are, believe me.
But like for to recap, like just like the first two episodes, it starts out and you kind of get like a feel for every character that they're going to cover. Mm-hmm. But then like it starts. Each one starts evolving over time, and you watch Joe go from like that gay. Zoo running, gun toting, mullet wearing, son bitch, to a guy that's like wanting to like bang all the dudes that come onto the zoo to work, and also kill this lady that has it out for him. Like it's incredible, and he's got it. Oh my God. Okay, we got.
So my
overwhelming.
thoughts on this show is, if you want to watch a tiger show about a bunch of hypocritical, annoying ass, insane people with too much time on their hands, by all means, please,
Yes.
go ahead. I am from Texas, so you know how we feel about people from Oklahoma. All right, so I'll pretty much read along, and then we'll go with we'll just your thoughts and opinions, please, by all means.
Oh God, this is gonna be so good.
Episode 1: Monkey people are a little different. Big cat people are backstabbing pieces of explicit.
Oh, is this our edited
No,
podcast?
this is what it says right here.
Okay.
We are introduced to Joe Exotic via a phone call from the Grady County Jail, accused of an involvement in a murder-for-hire plot against a well-known animal rights activist. He is being threatened with a
Carol Baskins.
with a 79-year sentence. No story ever starts off well with the man in jail. The story spans years and years of feuding way before Netflix decided to ask what's going on with people keeping big cats in their country. Back in 2014, a man with a mullet, eyebrow ring, and a baby tiger in his hand appears on the screen. This is Joe Exotic. And I'll go ahead and put Mr. Joe Exotic on the screen now. Of course, if you haven't seen what Mr. Joe looks like. He begun building greater Winewood Exotic. Is that how you pronounce that? Winwood?
What? Yeah, something like that.
Exotic Animal Park, GW Zoo, in 1999, is now home to almost 200 big cats and other exotic animals. His staff, described as family of misfits, is introduced to us one by one. All right, so going into the show so far, when you watch this, like, at what point during what I just read to you did you know the show is going to keep my attention for the next...
Oh, dude, it was like the first 5 minutes. Because before I watched it, it had gotten so much hype.
I guess my question is, at what point in your life did you realize that you needed a gay man, gun-toting, tiger-dealing, animal zookeeper, thruffle?
I feel like maybe after the 20,000th case of coronavirus. I was like, oh shit, we need something to distract us.
Holy shit.
The characters, well, these aren't even characters. These are like the actual people. The guy that did this documentary did this for 5 years.
Well, that was one. Yeah, that was one of the big questions that Michelle was asking me. Was like, how did they get all this footage if he's in jail, or someone, or like if so and so died?
I know she listens. No offense, Michelle, but does she not know how documentaries work?
No, I don't think she does. No. No. So this is something that, like they just said, they have been recording since 2014.
Yeah.
Documentaries, little heads up out there, documentaries aren't something that are done in a year or 6 months. Like, documentaries are actually filmed over years and years and years of footage.
And so he was talking about like how, it just, from the second he got there, it just evolved into this like huge shit show. And it's crazy because you see Joe, obviously he's a little eccentric, a little off kilter, but you don't really think too much of it because he's like,
it's fucking crazy.
Well, at first he's like, petting the tigers and like letting people in, petting the cubs. Apparently cub petting's like taboo, which even sounds taboo. You want to go cub petting? You ever been cub petting?
I'd rather get into a stranger's van.
Well, that's a little extreme. One might gnaw on your finger a little bit. The other one's going to gnaw at your booty hole with his penis. I
just want to point out how stupid it is to get into a cage with a grown-ass fucking tiger that could literally maul your face off at any second they decide to.
Right, but you have to understand these tigers were they were bred by him. They were raised by him. They only know him and the people.
Did you not see the scene where they put
okay
cologne on his shoe?
Yeah, but it just that it didn't want to eat him. It wasn't a predatorial thing. It was just interested in what was on his shoe, and then he evolved it. I don't know if you paid attention to that, but he started hitting the tiger and shit, and the tiger was
until he started shooting the gun next to its face.
Yeah. Would you not fucking start getting a little pissed off?
But that just proves my point exactly, that these tigers can kill you at any second.
Yeah, they can. I'm not saying they can't.
Oh, well, that's my whole point.
I mean, yeah. No, I'm not arguing that.
Oh, yeah. No,
no. These tigers, they will rip your fucking throat out.
Okay.
As opposed to proven evidence, what happens to Saf?
Siegfried and Roy.
There's this this girl named Saf, who's
sounds like an infection.
She had a Saf infection.
What are you for Halloween? I'm Saf.
I'm Saf. What are you in here for? And she was one of the handlers, and then she went and tried to feed a tiger, and then it ripped her half of her arm off, from the elbow down.
Yeah, no, we'll get into that.
Oh God.
So let's just backtrack. He started this.
There's gonna be a lot of backtracking because if you guys, dude, this show is so concentrated.
Started this because of what, his dead brother?
Yeah, he's he didn't want him to be a statistic.
That's it. That's right. Okay. Well, if any of your brothers die out there and you want to start a zoo, ask Mr. Joe Exotic.
Don't ask Joe Exotic.
His staff described as a family of misfits introduced to us one by one. There's Eric, John, a.k.a. Rink, and Kelsey, a.k.a. Saf. Each member of his family seems to have these two things in common. They came to the GW Zoo in need of a place to belong and unwavering love for these cats. Note, it is illegal to keep big cats and other exotic animals in D.C., Maryland, and Virginia, so don't get any ideas.
So you mean the other states are fine, though, right?
Right.
Dude, let's get one. They're only $2,000.
My TV is not going to jump out and bite me at any second of the day.
Right, but it's not a tiger either.
Fun fact, what would you name your tiger if you got one?
Oh, man, that is a good one. Shere Khan. No, I'm just kidding.
I so thought you were about to say Shaka Khan. The love Joe Exotic has for these cats is very apparent. He believes that these people will protect what directly affects them. So, if you hold a baby tiger and look into its eyes, how could you not feel for the need to save the rainforest?
Because there's no escalators in the rainforest.
Probably one of Jeff's favorite parts. He hosts a live stream each night for Joe Exotic TV to talk about two things: his love for cats and his hatred for Carol Baskins.
Carol Baskin, the bitch.
So my thing is, I want to ask this question: how did we not know about this story before this documentary? Was this did it just never leave the West Coast?
Dude, I don't. You know what's even funnier about that is there's another guy, Doc Antle, or Bhagavan.
Antle
is what he goes by.
Up in Myrtle Beach, which is 2.5, 3 hours from us.
I think I've driven by that park before.
Oh, I know I've driven by that park before.
I had to have. I forget what he calls his, but we'll get to that. But
so, have you went back and watched any of his freaking online stuff?
No, I feel like there's a line I need to separate myself.
Oh no, Jeff, there's no line.
No, okay.
Why would you say that?
I mean, just for my own mental sanity.
But of course, during his talk show, we do get introduced to Carol Baskin, this crazy bitch who apparently did not kill her husband because he decided to leave early
in the morning.
To
go to Puerto Rico.
Was it Puerto Rico?
I'm pretty sure it's Puerto Rico.
No, in Puerto Rico. It was
It's in the Bahamas or in the
Caribbean
somewhere.
Yes. I don't like that bitch. I don't like none of them, but I especially don't like her.
What's up, you crazy cat and kittens? Carol Baskin here. Big Cat Rescue.
The fact that this woman actually thinks that what she's doing is a good idea or has done is a good idea is way beyond me.
Right. So comparatively, if you take a look at Joe's park and Carol's park,
I've tried so hard to choose the lesser evils here between the three of them. I just can't do it.
Right, dude. I feel like the guy that chopped up a dude and burned him is probably the better of the four. to be honest with you.
How the fuck do you get 100 years in prison, but you only serve 12?
Yeah.
Rhetorical question. The answer to that question was he served as an informant, which reduces sentence. But still, you literally had a dead body that you buried.
But he said he sold drugs to fuel his animal addiction.
Fun fact, he believes that he is the... help me out here. He is the guy behind Scarface.
He's like, what they based the movie Scarface on. Well, he doesn't believe it. People have said that that's...
okay.
He used to have like people drive by his house and be like, Tony Montana, and drive off or whatever.
I just want to say, Carol looks like she's in a cult. Like, anytime you wear those little flower things on your head, you just automatically, like, Midsommar.
Look, if you're wearing those things and you're not at Coachella or Bonnaroo, like, you are a crazy person.
Carol Baskin, a flower crown wearing animal rights activist and owner of Big Cat Rescue in Tampa, Florida, has a mission to save animals that are bred to be kept in cages like the ones at the GW Zoo. Now, here was my biggest problem when first watching this episode, was that they're both hypocrites. You're both doing dumb shit in just completely different ways.
Yeah, so and that's what I was trying to say a second ago. The difference between their parks it's in stages, right? So like what Joe's doing wrong is he's giving them expired meat from the Walmart truck that he's somehow managed to get a deal with, and he's getting like these random ass cows from whatever, like farms and shit. But he's got way bigger areas for them to play in, right? But Carol,
that aren't as messy, yeah.
Right, but I feel like Carol might be giving them better food, but they're in like the tiniest of cages.
So let's go back here a second. The big difference between the two is Joe is breeding these for the public in order to make money off of them.
Right, and that too, yeah.
Which is where her part comes in, and why she's so pissed off about it, and how she's an animal rights activist, and it's not right for him to do that, so on and so forth. But then if you look at her, she's doing the exact same thing with the exception of breeding. She's taking these same animals that are from these breeding companies, putting them in her own cages to then make money off of them.
Right. And dude, and like
You're literally both pimps.
There's a picture, I'm pretty sure you can put it up. There's a lion inside like the cage, and the cage essentially just encompasses his whole body. He sticks his head through this other hole that goes into a smaller cage that has his food dish in it. Like, dude, and their like cages or surroundings that they have to stay in is so limited and so small and so.
Which are we talking about, Joe's or Carol's?
Carol's.
Yeah, like Joe's like was very open and grass was cut and whole 9 yards, and then Carol's was literally like, I mean, he described it best. He's like, it looked like a damn jungle out there for the cats.
Yeah, which I mean, I guess is. Well, see, okay, I was gonna say it's like very naturalistic for him, but it's not.
No,
because
it's not.
Like they've all been bred in either Florida or Oklahoma or wherever, so they don't know what the actual wild's like. All they know is like this environment.
Right. So then began the feud, which is pretty much what this whole documentary is based around.
Since 2004. Sorry.
4 of 6. One or the other. That we learned between Mr. Joe Exotic and Carol Baskin themselves. Their feud began in 2006. We learned Joe Exotic was traveling around to shopping malls showing off his animals. Carol would then email and encourage others to reach out to the owners of the malls and refuse his traveling show. The malls would become overwhelmed with emails that Joe and his shows would get banned, and thus the cycle continued. What else do you expect an animal rights activist to do? Like, it's pretty much like, this is pretty much...
A hypocritical animal rights activist, by the way.
Oh, very much so, yes. Yeah. My opinion, this whole feud, this whole entire documentary is because she couldn't keep her mouth shut. And then you're probably out there wondering, well, why is an animal rights activist supposed to keep their mouth shut? Because if you keep your fucking mouth shut, then you won't get snakes in your mailbox and you wouldn't get a fucking hire for hit on your ass. Okay? Which one's more important? Fighting for the animals or staying alive?
Whoa, Mike,
sorry, don't know about you, but I'm trying to stay alive.
Michael's skipping way ahead in this.
Fuck.
I want to take a little trip back down like I said, there's gonna be a lot of backtracking in this because there's gonna be a lot of shit that we miss. Even in these little 45-minute episodes, they're so chock full of everything.
And a lot of stuff that you watch in these 45-minute episodes are just stuff that they're also showing later on down the road.
Yeah, well, okay, so in the first episode, while we're still kind of getting acclimated, and this kind of gives you like a little credence to how like misogynistic and
misogynistic. We haven't even gotten to Mr. Dr. Antler yet.
Oh well, yeah, we're gonna get there, but and how like I don't know he's weird.
Mr. Antler?
No, I'm talking about Joe.
Oh, weird's not the word. Son.
He goes to into his gift shop. And I talked about this. I did a video on Facebook last night. He goes into his gift shop and he starts like showing off like some of the products that he has in there. This motherfucker's got barbecue sauce, honey, hand sanitizer.
Let's see if he says my favorite. Go ahead.
Lube, tiger and cat print underwear.
Nope.
But he don't wear no underwear. Oh, and then also his two albums. one I forget the name of it. Has 28 songs on it, and then he's got a second album. Is that not? None of that is what you're talking about.
Nope.
My
favorite thing that he sells in his gift shop is the condoms with his face on it.
I thought he did that during his run when he ran for.
Still my favorite. Don't care.
Okay, they're not in his gift shop, but. This dude ran for president.
Can I do that? Can I get the rundown on some condoms?
Yes.
Go ahead and talk. I'm gonna see if I can figure this out. I want to get the rundown on condoms.
So he runs for president at first during the 2016 election, and I think out of the 100 and something million people that voted, he got like 916. Don't quote me on the numbers of the votes. So he dropped out, and then he ran for governor of Oklahoma, for the great state of Oklahoma, and he had some condoms made up with his face on it. Don't tell me that you can do that.
Put your logo here. Starting price at $3 a piece.
Bro, are they spermicidal?
I don't fucking know, but I mean I might not use them, but like I want to get my logo on a condom.
Let us know if you want some condoms. We'll send you some condoms.
There's the dimensions. Natural color latex include red, blue, green, yellow, black color latex available.
Bro, we got to get the purple ones. Are there purple ones?
You will receive high quality standard size latex condoms that is made to FDA standards.
No babies for you. But let us know if you want to poke a hole in it before we mail it out.
If you're trying to keep your man around.
Yeah, you want that tax credit next year. But yeah, this he's fucking nuts, man.
This feud, however, involved more than just the two of them. PETA was on Carol's side, and a man named Doc Antle, a fellow private zoo owner, was on Joe's. Doc Antle owns and operates a private exotic zoo in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. His animals have been featured in movies such as Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, Dr. Dolittle, and The Jungle Book. Like Joe, he too just loves cats and just wants to keep his zoo out of the hands of people like Carol, and it seems Joe will do it by any means necessary. Doc. Good old Doc.
Bhagavan Doc Antle.
That man is... If you notice, if you watch the documentary, that man will not... You have to watch what you say. If it's anything degrading or negative in any way, shape, or fashion, he will not let it come out your mouth.
Oh, no. He's
like, hold on, stop. You think I'm going to let you say that? No. No,
he is very much... Like, as much as he says like he's not, that thing is very much a cult. And there's a girl that they interview in the first episode as well. She's like, yeah, like it may not, like you can always leave if you want, but there's like all the social connections,
all the social ties. Yeah, she's like cults. He's like, yeah, not a lot of cults have you like restricted or restrained down, but you can always leave. But then once you leave, like they have all these social ties that keep you from being able to progress in life anywhere else. Yeah,
and then he made her like get breast implants. And she's like, I never wanted him, but she's like, I'm kind of glad I got him because I got to sleep for 2 days.
Yeah.
Because they were working 8 a.m. till midnight.
It was not a choice. It was a lifestyle.
Yeah. And then this is a dude, like, for whatever reason, like, once you see Doc Antle, you'll be like, why the fuck are these girls flocking to him so hardcore? But, like, that guy pulls so much ass. But he is, like, the dope, like, dumpiest looking motherfucker. Like,
No, most definitely.
I don't get it. But he's got away with the ladies. And they all have, like, these little houses out there and stuff. Well, I
loved in the episode where they were talking about like how Doc is Joe's animal mentor, like, and then what did they say? Was it Bhagavan? Like, what the hell Bhagavan actually meant?
Oh, it means
Lord.
Well, she said it meant Lord. He said it meant friend of God. I thought it meant like oppressor or overlord, or
My wife
King.
made that joke at the house. She's just like, "You want me to start calling you Bhagavan?" No, I refuse.
Dude, whatever y'all got.
How do you not think that you're in a cult when they make you call him Lord?
Bhagavan?
People are stupid. Like, I
was
really just want to know what's going through these people's little brains.
It was about the cats, man.
So it's always about the cats, man.
It's about the cats.
Joe and Doc seem to believe that Carol is the worst than them. She's profiting off the cats while brainwashing others to believe that they're hurting their cats. People who really love animals are rarely ruthless. Doc explains that this is exactly what Carol wants and why she's ruthless. Note, I do not want to give anything away, but in future episodes, we really get a definition of the word ruthless. Episode 1 ends with a flash forward to the phone call from the Grady County Jail. Before this is over, and I quote, "I will shut everybody down," Joe Exotic warns. Even after one episode, it's clear that Joe Exotic is not messing around.
Yeah, he said, if you come after me, it's going to be another Waco. And I was like,
Bruh.
Okay. Wait till you see the last fucking episode, because you're like, this guy is a bitch. Because, like, he says that, and it had, like, the feds, like, freaking out. But then, like...
Yeah.
But once you meet...
I think the sheriff even stated he's just like, once he heard that reference, he knew this man was fucking crazy.
Yeah. But then, like, wait till you meet Jeff Lowe. And then, like, once you meet Jeff Lowe and then, like, all their stuff starts coming into fruition, then you're like, man, Joe's a bitch. Like, he just lays down.
Okay, so now we're finally through the first episode. Like, what was your overall take from the first episode?
It was a very, very good introduction to, like, the main people involved. Like, you meet Joe's husbands, old John and Travis, which neither are gay, by the way. Spoiler alert.
One of them's definitely not gay now.
No, he got new peefers.
I was talking about the other one.
Oh, damn.
Yes.
That's fucked up, dude. Sorry, that's just... Damn.
It's true.
Out of all people, me telling you that's fucked up? It's fucked up. How fucked up is fucked up? That's fucked up.
Yes. So I'm sorry. I'm not saying that I would do this because in 100 years I wouldn't do this shit, but come on. He went to the man because he bought him guns, a pink camo gun, and some trucks.
Yeah, well, you got to kind of take it back to the whole, these people come to him on their last leg. You know, they're trading themselves in for a fresh start, which, by the way, neither of these three,
Joe, Carol, and Doc
are really paying these people. Like, Doc's not paying his people, or no, he's paying them 100 something a week.
It's like
150?
$150 to $200 a week.
No, it's one. No, Doc's is 150. Joe's is 125.
200.
Is it 200?
It's 200. I watched episode 1 today. It's 200.
And then Carol isn't paying them all because she believes that people
want to do this. They want
free.
to volunteer. Yes.
Right? No, dude. Like, you have them live, and then they have a graduation system. Like, you go from red shirt to yellow shirt to green
after
shirt
X
to
many
blue
years.
shirt.
Yeah.
You can't hit blue shirt until you hit 5 unless you fast track. What? Like, what is this?
But it's her way of not having to pay people, but yet still makes her look like a good person because she volunteers and lets all these people in there for free.
Yeah, spoiler, this bitch chops up her husband and feeds it with fucking tiger. I hate Carol so much.
I can't wait to get to that episode because you can't technically do that because from as far as I understood, pigs are the only ones that can digest bones.
Tigers can too.
They can?
Yeah,
Okay.
once you get to that episode, you'll be like, oh, fuck, you're right. Because according to Joe, tigers got so much shit again them, they can just digest the bones. You won't never see. Or some shit like that. I don't know. But
okay, well, my opinion after watching this first episode, I wanted to know what the fuck I was watching and why the fuck my wife had me watching this. Because sure enough, we were laying in bed at 2 a.m. And she's like, hey, you want to watch TV with me? And I was like, sure. And I really didn't mean that because I just want to sit there and play Animal Crossing. So I was like, yeah. So I had my Animal Crossing. And then fucking watching it. And then I'm not going to lie, I did stay tuned into watching it because I was like, why the fuck's this man in jail? Like,
right, yeah, exactly.
I was like, all right, cool. So then I Googled it, and then I just went back to play my Animal Crossing.
That's fucked up. But it's not even just about Joe. It's like Bhagavan and the other.
Why are you calling him Lord?
Because he is Lord.
No, the fuck he's not.
Okay, Mr. Antle.
I hate Colts. Oh my god, Colts freak me the fuck out.
I can't call him Doc because he doesn't have a PhD, right?
Fuck, what can you call him then?
I can just call him Mr. Antle.
There you go, Mr.
Yeah,
Antle.
Mr. Antle.
Mr. Antle.
And then
Sounds like something at a Build-A-Bear
and then there's
workshop.
like that Stark dude. Fuck, I can't remember.
Dude, who's the Stark dude?
In episode 2, or maybe 1, there's this guy named something Stark. His last name's Stark. He's like, dude, like this thing intertwines so much. Like that's why I went.
And it does intertwine. Yeah.
There's a with all the people that they're talking about, like nobody is solo or by themselves. They all have interacted or continue to interact to some degree, which is what I think kind of keeps it alive. And good news, the guy that did the actual documentary said that there's enough footage for them to put out a second season.
I heard about that.
So that is.
Oh, and if you're
very
wondering,
exciting.
you get a Marie Kondo season 2 as well, if you're interested in that.
What is it?
Maria Kondo. So she's this little Asian lady that helps you declutter your house. And she literally does one thing. She comes into your house and she asks you, we're going to say that this is an article of clothing. Does this bring you joy? And then you're like, no. She tosses the bitch. Does this bring you joy? Yes. Put it in a pile. It's kind of like Queer Eye, but for decluttering your house.
Okay.
I don't know. Michelle's really into it. Episode 2 starts off. So I want to get into this real quick before we even start.
Yep.
The thing about if Netflix knows how to do anything right, it's documentaries.
Oh, dude, for sure.
I think the last documentary that I watched by Netflix was the Aaron Hernandez case.
Oh, I didn't even watch that one.
Hold on. Can we backtrack for a second? Because I don't watch sports, but I just found out literally 2 days ago that Tom Brady went to the Buccaneers after playing with the New England Patriots for like, I don't know, 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
And I texted my wife the other night. I was like, hold on now. Tom Brady's been in the Patriots for like 10, 15 years. So in 2020, Kobe Bryant's died. We've had a mass flu pandemic of the coronavirus, and Tom Brady has switched teams and went to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers that hasn't went to the Super Bowl in fucking know how long.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck? And then Michelle's like, yeah, honey, that happened like 2.5, 3 weeks ago. It's like, fuck sports.
I like how your wife's like, yeah, honey, you didn't know? And the least, like, all she follows is
She's
like,
into sports. I'm not.
Yeah, but I always thought she was just more like a Gamecocks fan, like, and that's like just what she followed.
Oh no, she loves basketball. She loves college football.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
she keeps track of all that shit.
My bad.
I
I'm sorry.
used to keep track of it when I worked at Ruby Tuesdays and I was a bartender, and I would
Because you have to.
Well, yeah, when you're a bartender, like you're like literally you
Yeah.
have the games on. I mean, you
Yeah.
remember working at
Yeah.
Applebee's, like
Yeah. Okay. Spoiler alert.
Jeff worked at Applebee's.
For one, yeah, but that's not like the only bar I've ever worked at. But like,
I gotta be a Bulldogs fan now, Jeff.
oh shit. Your bartender doesn't give a fuck about whatever sports team you're cheering for. He doesn't care what you want on the TV. He'll put it on there for you. But tip your bartenders, tip your servers. Whenever you get to go back and go into a restaurant and be served and bullshitted with for 2 hours, tip them adequately, 20% or more. Especially
18 minimum.
Especially if they have to put on some dumb shit that you want to watch, like fucking hockey or golf. Piss off. You're
I
in
like golf.
No, golf is not a fucking sport. And I will fight anyone who argues with me. Golf is not a
How the
fucking
fuck is golf
sport.
not a sport?
Dude,
You're hitting a tiny ass little ball into a hole that's like 18 or 18,
Dude.
fucking 800 yards away.
Yeah, no.
You do that.
Man, it's not a real sport. That's like, dude, what? Because ESPN covers it? No,
No.
They also
Arnold Palmer.
Arnold Palmer's dead.
It's a famous golfer.
I understand this, but he's also dead.
Okay, so is the fucking Joe Exotic's boyfriend, but I don't give a shit.
Oh, damn, we're not even at that episode yet. Fuck.
Spoiler alert, the episode 2 starts off with what I said in the very beginning of episode 1.
So, wait, do you think Texas Hold'em is a sport now?
The card game?
Yeah. It's on ESPN.
So, me personally, I believe that anything where somebody competes against each other is considered a sport. So right now, if me and you decided to have, if we both had a 6-pack of beer, okay?
I'd win.
Yes. Okay.
Sorry.
And we were going to see who could outdrink the other person. That to me is a sport because we are competing against each other.
I feel like in golf, you're just competing against yourself.
No, you're seeing who can hit 18 holes in the less amount of strokes or in the least amount of strokes.
No, I understand. I understand the concept. I've played golf. I'm really good at putt-putt. But
we are working on very limited battery.
oh, shit. Sorry. Go ahead. Sorry, continue.
So again, the first episode that I pointed out, tigers will fuck you up whenever they're ready to. Okay, and sure enough, Little Miss Staph infection, Saf, whatever the hell her damn name is, goes and sticks her hand inside the damn animal cage and gets the damn whole arm ripped off. I
will never financially recover.
And I just want to call this. I've worked EMS before. Okay.
Oh, fuck, you did.
I did. I worked on an ambulance
Briefly.
before. A few years.
Was it a few years?
4 years, yeah.
Really? I didn't know you drove for that long. My bad.
Thank you. I love how you point drove because that's exactly what the fuck I did. I drove.
Driven. Do you want to say driven?
Whatever.
Did you have to?
I love how he. So I've had to help while somebody else had to give CPR. Yeah.
But most of the time you're driving though, right?
Driving. I've cared with patients in wrecks and things like that.
Did you rip the e-brake?
The what?
Rip the e-brake?
No. I love how Joe, first thing he does is go and puts on his little EMS jacket.
Dude, that's like the smallest detail, and I'm so glad you picked up on that. That's so funny.
My brother-in-law has that exact same jacket, except it's not blue; it's like orange, I think.
But the funniest thing is, he's like tending to her, and then like he just leaves, and then he's like, he lights up a cigarette, and then he's like, "I'm never gonna financially recover from this." It's like,
I'm not gonna lie, I did see one meme that I thought was super funny. It was just like when your dad finds out that you mess with the thermostat. I'm never gonna financially recover. So no, he leaves after like what it looks like he may have like put a tourniquet on her arm or some shit like that.
Yeah.
And then he leaves, and then he goes and smokes a cigarette. He says that, and then I guess one of the other workers are standing right there, and they're just like, "So what do you want me to do? Go do your chores and be safe." You dumb motherfucker.
All right, Bruce. And then no, the best thing, he's like, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. There was an incident where the girl's arm got ripped off by one of the tigers. Now I can issue a refund or a rain check to come back at a later date. Dude, I want to know how many people they actually took a rain check to come back to that shit.
The episode starts off with Kelsey getting her arm ripped off by the tiger cage and Joe flexing his EMS jacket. Next up, we learn about Mario. I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
What is it? Let me see.
Tabaru?
Oh, sorry. Tabra.
Tabra grew up in Miami with his father.
This is the guy that we were talking about earlier.
Right. Beginning in 1976, the father and son began working during a drug ring smuggling marijuana into the United States. The ring would smuggle 500,000 pounds of marijuana, as well as cocaine.
That's so much marijuana. Do you know how much marijuana that is?
I don't.
That's so much. 500,000 pounds? I'd fill up this whole fucking house, dude.
Blah, blah, blah. He was accused of chopping up an ATF agent in the backyard and burying him. He did receive 100 years. But instead, he worked as an informant and pled guilty to income tax charges, which then he only served 12. He was probably the most sane person in the whole entire show.
Yeah. He honestly is.
Like, I would go to his zoo.
I wouldn't go to any of their zoos, but yeah, and his wife was like super chill about it too. She's like, because she's like, they help raise monkeys as well, like different species of monkey.
That's what I want in my house. I want a monkey.
You say that.
I want a monkey. I want a monkey.
Okay. I'll let you get your monkey.
I'm gonna have my monkey and you go play golf.
Can your monkey hand me clubs? What kind of monkey do you want?
It's a little baby chimp. Not a spider monkey. Those little things.
Oh, I'm gonna have to learn you on some monkey. You do
I
know,
like to throw my fecal too. It's okay.
No, you do know that I'm like pretty well versed with monkey, right?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Well, we'll talk about that later.
So, what did you think about this guy?
Dude, yeah, like we were saying, he's like out of all the four, he seems the sanest one. And we're not even getting into like Jeff Lowe.
I wouldn't
like
even say
guys,
he's part of the four. I would just say that like he's
true.
He's like a branch off of the three main ones.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's a lot of branches.
Well, him and Doc Antle have a lot of history. Doc Antle used to come to his office and stuff like that too. So, but he seemed chill.
Yeah, he was chill.
Honestly, he's not the one that like chopped up and burned that ATF agent. It was the guys that he worked with. They killed him and they panicked and they brought him to his farm, and they just did it on his farm, and like he was just kind of had to deal with it, you know.
All right, everybody to his farm.
Yeah, so and he just kind of like was suckered into being the scapegoat, I guess. But yeah, he seemed super chill. He's got a lot of, the motherfucker pulls up in a Bentley, dude.
I saw that. He's fucking speeds out of his zoo in a damn Bentley.
Like,
okay.
Like, how do you get Bentley money from running? Like, he doesn't even run. Well, he runs kind of a zoo, but it's more of a sanctuary.
Next up, we learn how close him and Doc Antle and his cult of women and wives, and I quote, Joe Exotic's animal mentor in the tiger world. That is one crazy son of a bitch.
Yeah. Well, they're all like well versed.
Definitely one of my least favorite characters of that whole entire show was Doc.
Oh, dude, I fucking hate Doc. I really do. You know who I really like is Rick, the guy that did the Joe Exotic TV series.
Oh, the guy that kind of narrates whatever that word is.
Yeah, like narrates the documentary. Yeah. Like to me, like Rick's like the coolest guy, like that, or the guy with no legs. Which, by the way, didn't lose his legs due to a tiger. It was a ziplining accident, but he has.
And
no
I'm
legs.
not gonna also lie. Like I've read a bunch of articles online that say that it was a bungee jumping. It wasn't bungee jumping. It was ziplining.
Yeah. He says in the documentary he fell off, broke his.
Oh, that was the first thing he made sure to let people know. Hey, this fucking tiger didn't do this shit.
Yeah, broke his feet, broke his back, fucked up some organs.
And I think one thing that we didn't mention about Kelsey either was the fact that from the time she got her arm bit off to that she was back working within like 7 days.
Dude! Yeah, okay, sorry. Sorry. The doctor was like, it's going to take 2 years of reconstructive surgery, or we can just chop it off. And she was like, yeah, just get rid of it. Like, bro,
That's
you had
more hospital bills.
Well, she had a functioning arm. She could still have a functioning arm if she had gone through the surgery.
Yeah, but I can have a nub with less doctor bills.
You still have a fucking nub, bro. Like if
you wouldn't be friends with me if I had a nub?
No, I'd still be friends with you.
Would you pick at my nub?
You have a shit beard, and I'm still friends with you.
Really?
Now he's getting all self-conscious. No. I'm just saying, like, would you, honestly, in your honest opinion, would you rather have a nub and no doctor bills, or a fully functioning arm still, to where you could still do tasks that
well, in
require
the
two
world of the
hands.
economy that is in, I'd rather have a nub. Swear to God, I'd rather have a nub.
Oh man.
Because
Well-
that's just too many. That's too many doctor bills. That's too much in and out of surgery. That's just doctor's appointments left and right. And I've had to deal with that with everything that went on with Michelle.
Yeah.
And like seeing Michelle go through that and having to go through physical therapy and just being tired all the time, I just cut the bitch off. I'm done. I'm good. You know, obviously I'm the dumbass that stuck my arm in the damn animal cage. I don't deserve having an arm. There are more deserving people of an arm out there than me.
That's true. I mean, I get it.
No, I see both sides of the coin.
Yeah.
I really do.
To me, I'm just like
If I was a millionaire,
I'm just saying I've had all my appendages, luckily, for the last 35 years. So
right.
I kind of want to keep that going.
Well, I'm just saying, if I was a millionaire who didn't have to do anything but sit at home, play video games, and have reconstructive surgery on my arm, and fucking go to physical therapy, and didn't have to worry about work and everything else, and sure, yes, please build my arm back up, but fortunately, I don't have that luxury.
And that's the thing with these people that Joe hired on. Like, they're not millionaires. They're on their last leg. They're drug addicts. You know, dude, these tiger owners are like some of the best salesmen I've ever seen. And like,
oh yeah, most definitely.
Like, I'm in the car business, and like I know how good salesmen can be, and these guys are like, they're offering last hope to people that have none. You know?
He like, what did he do? Joe walked up to this lady at what looked like a bus stop maybe, and
like a
was
gas
just like,
station or something.
here's $100 or $200. You know, I'll give you one of those trailers out there. You know, you just come work at the Burger Barn. You know.
Yeah. So you can work at the Burger Barn and come work for me and start over.
You could have had a good life, Joe. You just can't put a higher hit for hire on people out there.
We're getting ahead of ourselves. That's a couple episodes later.
Now we are back at Carol's Zoo, where we learn how she handles volunteers and her social
Cool
media.
cats and kittens.
Now people believe that she has all these people do her dirty work. Joe actually goes and visits the zoo of Carol, and we end with the show with Carol Baskin's husband just vanishing. Dun dun dun.
What was really fucked up about that too is like when we were talking about this earlier is like there's I think a mountain lion that she had.
Okay.
Or Bob? No, it wasn't Bob. I think it was a mountain lion. That had seizures when there was like loud.
Oh,
noises.
the helicopter, yeah.
And like Joe got in a helicopter. He's like, "Look up and you'll shame me later." And is that a good Joe impression? I don't know. But it's gonna keep going through this whole series. So buckle up. And so like he goes up in the helicopter to like tour her property, and he just like starts this seizure within this animal, and she's like freaking out about it because like this cat could die from that. You know what I mean? He's just like flying over with his helicopter, just like touring her estate, and cat's like fucking like fucking dying.
He's like, I bought a ticket just like everybody else to come up in the dams.
Yeah, he's like, I paid for it. It's cool. But like you can see like in the footage that he showed, like her cages are terrible.
Yeah. I mean, if I had to choose one, of course, it's going to be Mr. Doc Ansel. You know, if I had to choose one to go stay at, because I don't have to worry about him pegging me in the booty hole, and 2, I'm not working, for free.
Well, you don't got what he wants.
But I'll still have a job and I'll be okay.
Yeah, but Doc wants that Vajiji.
That's fine with me. I don't have the Vajiji. So overall, what did you think about episode 2? My personal opinion, I think that for somebody who loves it, it seems to be getting better and better.
It's definitely
It's almost hitting that climax. It's almost there.
It's like when you know how like you're going on a roller coaster and like you shoot out and you go up and go up and go up and go up and you're waiting at the top of the hill, and then the roller coaster does this and it's waiting to drop down. That's where episode 3 starts. Is
at the top or it actually drops?
It's when you're facing down, you're waiting, and you're just getting ready to go through this whole roller coaster of like emotion and trying to figure out who's good, who's bad, who's
and
what.
That's what I kind of feel about this episode so far is like people, now that you've gotten like a good look at Joe's gay homo gun-toting, tiger-wielding, cowboy singer.
Gay homo? Double
whatever.
entendre?
Yeah. Carol's this animal hypocrite, animal rights activist who, killed her husband.
I cannot wait to get into that.
Who woke up early. And then you have Mr. Doc over here who runs this fucking sex cult with tigers. and like everybody's trying to like pick a side, and it's just
Yeah. There's more characters that come in later on too. That
I'm not gonna lie, to give you a heads up, my favorite's gonna be the campaign manager.
Oh, dude, he's bro. Okay, there's the episode with Travis and him. I was like, holy fuck! Like, could you imagine being him? And he's caught on security cam. I don't want to spoil it too much. I feel like I already have. Don't get attached to people because some of these, they're not going to be in episode 5 or 6.
Did you say don't get attached to people? Wow.
I'm just saying some of these people are attachable. Like Travis was a cool dude.
What was the other one's name?
John Finley.
John.
Yeah.
That's the only person that I'm happy for about this whole entire show was Mr. John, because spoiler, if you don't already know, Mr. John got some teeth.
Got some
I'm
peefers.
So happy for him.
Yeah. Dude, yeah, and he was like he was drug free like for a couple of years before this documentary even got filmed too. So
did you read the article on why, if you didn't notice, on why his shirt is off in every single scene?
No.
Yeah, so there's an article, I think it popped up on like BuzzFeed or something like that, but BuzzFeed, don't quote me on it, it may be a different place, put out an article on, didn't you find it kind of strange that he had his shirt off in every single scene through that whole entire documentary? And it was, quote, he is very proud of his tattoos and wants to show them off. So that is why.
I mean, it makes sense. Like, he's got a bunch of tribal stuff. I get it. But he, like, I think 3 tattoos he had were about Joe. Like, for my husband,
But he wasn't
Joe. Yeah, what? Dude, you got to do what you got to do, man. Like, fuck, he was buying trucks.
We
and
buying
giving
4 or 5
drugs.
trucks. I mean, come on now.
Yeah, 4 or 5 trucks, man. Some fucking meth and goddamn. There is a scene where John takes care of one of them. So, stay tuned, guys. There's a lot of stuff.
If you enjoyed this episode of the Rundown Review, please like, subscribe, and share. And hey, in a couple of days, you're going to get part 2. We're going to go ahead and finish out the series and give us our basic overall thoughts and who may hope for a season 2. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. And as always, be safe.
Wash your hands.